to the Spicy Booknook, where we discuss all of our favorite and not so favorite dark and dirty book series. We're your hosts, Aj.
And Tay. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today we will be reviewing Devourer of Men by Nikki St. Crowe. Please be aware that there will be spoilers and explicit content for mature audiences only. Trigger warnings for this book include graphic language, violence, abusive parents, verbally abusive parent or parent who uses derogatory language towards a child, internal struggles with sexual identity, internal struggle of self due to parental abuse, graphic sexual content, mentions of spousal coma, death, blood drinking, captivity, submission, talk of suicide. And for a more comprehensive list, go on to nikkistcrowe.com and look for more triggers. So, yeah.
Okay, friend, what do you rate this one?
I feel like I'm being biased because I absolutely love this series, but I'm gonna say a 5. I didn't have any complaints except for that it could have been longer. What about you?
I'd say like a 4.5.
I'm like, I really liked this book. Like, I thought it was good, and liked the I like the connection to the last series because I think she said this one would be like considered a standalone away from those books. But I liked how it tied into the Lost Boys series, and it sounds like they're coming back.
It was really good. I will say it's probably my least favorite
Yeah.
as far as like the series goes. It's definitely not my most favorite. Um, but I still enjoyed it. It just wasn't like my favorite like the other ones.
I could agree with that. I definitely can. I probably could go down on ratings, but um I do think I thought it was really good. I just felt like it was it wasn't what I was expecting because I don't know. I guess I expected like some more like smut and like,
There was
nastiness.
like barely any smut in this book,
Yeah.
which I feel like is just that is what kind of threw me off because obviously the other books in the series in the Never King series were just so smutty that this we had literally like 2 sex scenes.
And see, I
Like
took that into consideration, but I also thought about the first book of the Never King series, and there was hardly any smut in that one. And I think it's because she builds a story first, and then she just throws all the sex at us later
but
on.
we already know these characters.
We
I get
do, but we
I
didn't know
get
all of
if
them.
I'm like I get if it's a standalone cool, but for the ones who have already read the previous series, we pretty much know the main characters, we know them very well. Like this
That's
is
true.
they're very well introduced, so that's why I was like and clearly the steamy scenes would be between the main characters. That's why I was like, where is the smut? We already know these characters.
Yeah.
Especially Rock and Captain Hook. I'm like, we know them very well. So
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
we know that they had a lot of sexual attention for a long time, too.
so
So
that's where I was like, okay, this
the
book
sex
is
should have
gonna
been earlier and like a lot more of it. I agree with that, but I still think that the story overall was really good.
yeah, it was pretty good.
Like, I like how they brought Wendy back, and like because I was confused on how they were going to bring Wendy back because I thought she would be like, aged and like really just like an old woman and not, you know a
Yeah, when they were looking for
reserved
her,
woman.
I was like, y'all are literally going to look for this old ass lady. Like in my mind, I was like, this bitch is probably dead. Like,
That's what I thought. I thought
like,
they were gonna find out she was dead, or she had like a daughter or something while she was there, or something, and they'll fall in love with her. But I didn't expect her to be alive.
and then when they found her alive and she was the queen, I
Uh,
was like, oh, I
I
was like,
really
she,
liked how she became queen. I thought that was a good little plot.
I was like, she didn't leveled up. Not that she wanted to, but she didn't really have a choice. But
Yeah,
she leveled up. I was like, okay, I like that for her.
yeah.
I was also very curious about how she had magic. That's where I was like, what's going on? Because I'm like, you are just you're not from any of the Neverlands or anything like that. So I'm like, where the hell you get magic from?
Yeah, that was a twist
That,
for me.
especially when they said that they tried to kill her by hanging her and she just hung there for an hour and wouldn't die.
I was like, okay, yeah, she's a witch.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, she's definitely a witch.
They over
I'm
here
like,
calling her a witch, and I'm like, mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, she is. And then turns out it was the captain who gave her some magic.
Yeah, which was like a plot twist for me. And I was like, I did not expect Hook to have any kind of powers at all.
Yeah, I will say that I need them to be a throuple
I do too.
because they all mesh very well together. It seems like Hook is obviously the more sweeter one, and Croc is himself. So the balance, like, I see why she ran away because she's like, okay,
Girl.
I love them both, but they're both giving me different things and meeting different needs of mine, and I'm not going to be able to choose. So I see why she was like, okay, like, I got to go. I can't do this. But I'm like, girl, clearly the sexual tension. Why didn't you just see if they was both trying to be with you in the beginning? Because
They're okay
clearly,
with it.
clearly they're fine with it. So I'm like, you done did all that for nothing.
Yeah, I feel like the whole like her staying behind and not wanting to be with them. I felt like, girl, like you had an opportunity to have these men a long time ago, and I think she was just afraid that because like Rock obviously cut, Hook's hand off, that
Hmm.
he wasn't going to be with the shits. And I mean, he surprised me because he was with the shits.
Definitely. Definitely. I just really like
You wanted more
they
sex, huh?
yes, I did. Like it was just there was not enough smut for me.
I
That's
agree.
like
I can agree with that.
there just wasn't. I was like to me in I'm like to build up that much sexual tension between two characters and then not deliver
Yeah,
is just like because she really built it up. So I'm like for you to build it up and then give us nothing? Why would you do that?
I was a little disappointed with the lack of smut in there. I I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it was so built up for us to get like almost nothing.
She
Like
gave us crumbs.
I will say that the scenes that we did get were like nice, like the little what did he tell oh boy? He told him you got 6 words.
Yeah, that was, but
That
that was, I don't know.
I was like,
This one,
okay.
this one really wasn't my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'd probably give it a 4, honestly, not even a 4.5, which sucks because I really do love Nikki St. Crowe, but like, this one just didn't,
I feel like I'd give it a
like,
4.5 because of the
I
sex.
enjoyed it, but when I read the Never King series, like, and I flew through all those books and was like so hooked. Like I thought that's what I was going to get with this one, and like I just didn't. That's just not what I got.
I don't
It wasn't what I expected. Like I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be obsessed with this book. I'm gonna love it just like the other ones and want to read it more than one time. And this one was probably just a one and done for me. Like I don't think I would read it again.
Yeah, I don't think I would read it again. I did read the Never King series again, and I think that's why I'm kind of like I didn't hate it. I think it was more so like I hated them the lack of sex in it. But again, like I said, I feel like what I don't know for sure, but I think Nikki is really just building the story, and she could have given us more, but I can't really I think the story was still really good. Like I feel like it was just a filler story more than like us like their full story, if that makes sense. Like I feel like this is just a piece of like the beginning of them coming together. And I think like with like after reading the epilogue, I feel like there's going to be a lot more story to tell, and I think she was really just filling us in on what's next. And so I don't think this was more so like
Yeah.
her giving us all of Hook and Croc. So I kind of I like the mystery of it. I know you're kind of like, girl, like I needed
No,
more.
like if she came out with a second book for this, I don't think I would read it.
Really?
Yeah. Is where I'm at.
Oh, and
Like
see,
I
I
just
don't
am like,
agree.
like if it had the other characters in it,
I
absolutely. If
think
it
it
had
will, and
like
I think that's why I'm interested in the next
like if
one.
it had the boys in it, yes, I would read it. But if it was just not really the boys, more of like the Croc, um, and Wendy and Hook, like I don't think I would read it. I just
Wow.
I just don't think it was like this one was just, even if it's a filler, I just don't feel like it was as good as the other books.
I
And
agree that it's
my
not as good as
attention
the other.
span is very much like you gotta like I really gotta be into it. Like I could read the Never King series a million times. I could read it right now and still be just as into it as I was the first time I read it. This book, I just really am like, I'm never gonna read this again. It wasn't terrible. I just it just wasn't my
Yeah.
thing. I like the story. I like them finally going and finding Wendy and stuff.
So
I
you're not
just
interested in the next book at all?
yeah, no.
Even
I'm really
after
not.
the epilogue, like it didn't make you feel like Pan was coming back or like Vane. He said, "Take me to Vane," so I'm like, Vane is coming back and stuff. So that
I
kind
mean
of
the
like
next
shocks me.
like I would read it just literally for the boys. That's the only reason I would read the next
And
one.
see, that's why I'm interested in it because I feel like the boys would come back. So that it just shocked me that you said that you were like, I wouldn't read the next one. And I'm like, girl, like, what do you mean? But
But
I
I feel
mean,
like they
I get
won't be
it.
the main storyline, if you feel me. Like because the Never King series, that was their storyline. Like that
Yeah.
was them. So the next book would probably be a Croc and Hook storyline, more like continuing that storyline. I just don't have any interest in continuing that storyline.
Okay.
I feel like, and then this book, one thing that like annoys me sometimes is when authors are very descriptive, but like to the point where it's annoying. Like, okay, we get it.
Yeah,
Like, and so I'm like, with all the descriptions, you could have been putting some time into putting some damn smut in this book,
that's
but
true.
instead you describing shit that we don't really care about. Like, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. So yeah, this one was not my favorite.
I can tell. I'm
Yeah.
shocked.
I'm shocked because I love Nikki. I love her and I love her books, but this one was just not a love. It
And
was not
see,
a love.
I'm like, I really
It
liked
was a
it.
like,
I guess I really liked the story. Like besides the smut lacking and stuff, I just thought the story was really good and it kept my interest. Like I felt like it
I
was
just
it was interesting. Like I was trying to figure out what was next and like why Wendy was like having these witchy like powers or like whatever. Like I was really interested in the story. So like I wasn't I honestly I missed the sex. Like the sex was really just lacking 100%. Like there were some scenes and it was a little filthy, but it could have a
but I
hundred
feel like
percent been more.
even the Never King without so much sex, like I was still very into the book.
And I feel like
Like
I was into the book.
like
That's why I'm
it
just
was
like I don't.
just it was like the sex scenes were just kind of like cherry on top. Like it was like, oh, I'm getting all this, and then just cherry on top
Yeah.
is the sex scenes. But with this book, I just didn't feel that. I just was honestly, I liked it, but it wasn't like a love. It wasn't like a, ooh, I'm excited to finish this and see what's gonna happen. Like I was just like, all right, just like hurry up and tell me how she got these powers
Oh.
and how they make it out of Everland so we can like move on.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean that
So
is it. I guess. Like
yeah, this wasn't my. You're into like fantasy and you like fae and stuff like that. Like obviously Nikki St. Crowe, she has really great books. This one just wasn't my favorite. I still rated it a 4. It was good. It just wasn't my favorite. But who knows? You all may think differently.
yeah, I mean, definitely check it out and give it a chance. I disagree with Osh for the first time, and I feel like this book was actually really good and like it has me wanting more. Like I'm really excited for the next one, so I may read those probably by myself.
Yes. So thank you guys for tuning in. And if you're into fantasy, this may be a book that you would want to read.
Yeah, give it a shot.
I would definitely read the Never King series first, though. But
Yes, definitely.
But
But
thank you guys for tuning in.
yeah, thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
And it goes a little something like